Guys, we've been talking about mindset quite a bit in the last month or so, and I think we've made some good progress with it. I think it's also just worth noting that, like you guys, I'm sure, like you guys were after Wednesday. For me, after the Wednesday game, I was wrestling quite a bit with sort of why we're seeing some of those ups and downs. So I talked to Coach Bryant and asked him to come to speak to you guys about just mindset in general and some of his thoughts. I don't know, most of you know him?
Yeah.
Right on? Yeah? If you don't, he's the man. I'm sure you've heard him speak at least once before. But he offered, and I took him up on it, the chance to just, again, get our heads right before this weekend. And we've got 4 regular season games left, and I think this is a chance. We're coming up on a huge game tonight. This is a chance to really wrap our heads around and maybe make that step forward that we've been talking about for the last month or so. Let's make that step forward. Let's not keep waiting. I'm eager to hear what he has to say. So Trayvon, thanks for being here, man.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Cool, man. So thank y'all for allowing me to come in and speak with y'all before tonight's game. And I know Coach said to, let's get our mindsets right before this weekend. But I'm thinking about tonight. I'm thinking about right now. Right. So who do we got tonight? Who we playing? Wilson. All right. Tom, can you tell me what's tonight's goal? What's the goal for tonight? Get a W. Ben, what's the goal for tonight? Yep. What's the goal for tonight? To win, right? What's the goal for tonight? The W, right? So to win, that's the biggest goal, right? And that's what we want for all week, right? And it was the time, 2017, I had the same goal to win, right? It was my junior year, University of New Hampshire football. It was our winter training, right? Mat drills. We would have a mat drill and we would have a competition. So one day of mat drills, you had 8 stations. You had about 8 to 9 guys on a squad. And then we would go for 3 minutes nonstop in each station. Next day, you would get matched up with someone on the opposite side of the ball from you that you would have to compete against. You would have to win, right? You'd have to have the most points, right? And here it is. From my freshman to my sophomore year, I never lost a competition. I went undefeated all the way to my junior year, right? Never lost a competition. And here it is going into the last competition of the winter before we go into spring ball, right? And so we get the roster of who you're going up against the next day, right? As soon as we finish the mat drill, coach goes ahead and he'll post it in the locker room. All the guys go to the board. They're checking to see who they have for tomorrow, right? And I get to mine and I see this guy named Nick Marino, right? Nick Marino was a senior, very brilliant, smart guy, right? Wasn't a scholarship kid. He was a walk-on, worked hard, right? Earned a spot on the team as far as, being a part of the culture. But he wasn't really that guy. Like if the third screen safety got hurt, then maybe Nick would get in, right? And so here it is. I'm looking like this is my last match. I got Nick Marino. Okay. I respect him a lot, but this is winnable. This is good, right? Go home that night into the dorm room, talking with the guys. Hey, who do you got tomorrow? Who do you got tomorrow? I got a big challenge. I'm going against this guy. I'm going against this guy. Oh, Trey, you got Nick, man. You should be able to win this one. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, right? And so I started thinking about all the other things. I started going off and, doing other things that day, right? Went to sleep, woke up the next morning. We get into competition. And the only thing that I said to myself was like, yeah, I got this. I'm about to do this. This is going to be good, right? We get to the end of the competition, and here it is. Coach is looking at the list. He's reading off the names, and as he reads off the names, the assistant coaches read off the score and tell you who wins. So the head coach, he would yell the name, and he would say, all right, coaches, Bryant and Marino, who won? And coach said, Marino, 8-5. You beat me by 3 points, right? First match I had ever lost. First match I had ever lost in my entire career, right? And the look on coach's face when he looked up from that sheet and he made eye contact with me like, are you serious? Did you really just lose this? Right after just becoming the first 2-time team captain in University of New Hampshire's history? Doing our lift test when we got back for that winter, I had just set a school record in the weight room that I still hold today. Are you serious? And I was ashamed, right? The goal was to win, but the way that I prepared caused me to lose. Right? And that's because I got complacent with winning. I got complacent with always being the best. Right? I settled. I didn't prepare for Nick the way that I prepared for every other opponent. I thought it was going to be a breeze because he was the underdog. Right? But leaving that situation, right, it gets even better. Leaving that situation, we get into the locker room. Nick walks up to me. He taps me on the shoulder. He turns me around. He gives me a dap. Hey, man, good competition, but show up next time. And walked off. I had to bite my tongue because he deserved every single right to say what he said because he beat me fair and square. And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm like, show up. Show up. I've showed up all my life. Grew up in a single parent home. My father didn't want to be in my life. I had to show up. I always had to make sure that I was doing the right things in school. Even with my friends in college, when they wanted to go drink and hang out, I had to be the person to hold them accountable. I had to be the person to say, nah, guys, I'm not going to do this. I had to show them by example. I always showed up. I never sat down. I never not worked hard. I never not met a lift. I always showed up. But the one time that I slipped up, the one time that I laid down, the one time that I assumed that I was going to beat this underdog, I was told I needed to show up. And so why am I telling you this, guys? The reason why I'm telling you this is because you guys have had a great season so far. You've been playing well. Coming in tonight, this team that's coming to play us tonight, they want you. The only goal is to win, just like ours, right? You all said it. But how are you going to prepare for this game tonight? Mentally. How are you thinking about how you're going to win? How do you believe in each other? Right? Because the only thing that you guys have to do is control what you can control, which is by doing your job. You don't even have to worry about a game plan, nothing. Why? Because the coaches already got that. The coaches are going to make adjustments during halftime. They're going to tell you what you need to do. And all you got to do is execute. So how are you preparing yourself right now to set the tone for how we're going to play tonight and then how we're going to play the rest of the season? Right? And so it's just focusing on doing your job. The way that you played any other team that was great or that was good should be the way that you play every single team that comes across your path. Anybody that steps on that ice tonight should be like, dang, man, I don't think I want to finish up here. They should be questioning why Deerfield was on their schedule. And that's the mentality. That's the energy. That's the thing that we should be rolling with every single game, every single day, every single practice. Because I wish I could go back to that day and go again against Nick Marino, but I can't get that back, fellas. So what I said, don't worry about it. I got one more year. So next time we go in, I promise I'm going to win every battle. Guess what happened? Went into spring ball, so my ACL, MCL, medial lateral meniscus, patella tendon, all in one. Never got to compete again. Never got to compete again. So I was left with a lot of I wish. I wish I prepared for him the right way. I wish I took it a lot more serious. You guys have the opportunity to not leave the ice tonight with the I wish. So I want you to think about what is it that you're going to do to cancel out the I wishes? How are we going to attack the rest of the games this season? How much does it mean to you, right? What's the goal? Where are we trying to get to at the end? Because it's going to require some grit, attention to detail. It's going to require some belief and some perseverance and some leadership. Can you play for your brother tonight? And can you guys show up and don't be left with the I wish? And bring it up. Family on three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go, boys. You see it tonight.